So I started playing Osu again. I only took like a roughly 3-year break. Well, 3-year break isn't quite right, but it took me roughly 3 years to finally set top plays again. Like those tiny spikes in play history you see in between 2022 and now, so many things went wrong. For one, I was straight dog. I pretty much lost all my ability to hit jumps, streams, and play anything past AR10. I should just chop my dick, which is a bit of a problem because, and I am ashamed to admit this, pretty much all my top plays are DT maps, which I specifically played with Nightcore. And before you rag on me, I had an actual reason why I chose Nightcore over DT, okay? I think it was mainly because when songs were in DT, they sounded a little stuttery to me, which was kind of fixed with Nightcore, but also at the same time, it sounds like a 10-year-old inhaled helium and started singing, so you win some, you lose some. Another problem was my tablet. I had been rocking the Vake S640 for a couple of years and decided, you know what, I think it's time for an upgrade. So I went for the Wacom 1, which I'd heard was pretty good for Osu. And I mean, it cost twice as much as the Vake, so it should have been a great upgrade, right? Wrong. I don't know what it was, but that tablet just didn't feel right. I used the same settings, the same area, everything as my old tablet, but I just couldn't get to the level I was with my old tablet. And instead of swapping back, I just decided to march forward for months trying to get this tablet to work, and it never did. So when I switched back just to test the old tablet, I immediately felt like a dumbass for trying to slam my head into the problem. So now that I'm playing again, that must mean I'm doing great, right? Not quite.
What the fuck? You kidding me? I suck so bad.
Another issue I had was my tablet area. For the longest time, I had convinced myself that if I wanted to get more accurate and more precise, I would just need to increase my tablet area. As it turns out, that was not the correct solution for me, and I eventually convinced myself to swap back to a smaller tablet area. Pretty quickly, I was able to get back into properly hitting jumps. Now I do have a confession to make. I can't play maps if I'm not using hidden. For the longest time, I've pretty much played Osu with hidden being a permanent modifier turned on. And I've tried turning it back off, but then it feels like a completely different map, and sections I would hit pretty easily normally become impossible to read. I just become an idiot. So now that those problems are out of the way, I have actually been setting top plays again. Like I finally managed to stop the descent into hell that my ranked graph was going on. The only issue is, well, all those top plays are still DT farm maps. In fact, while I was recording B-roll for DT maps, I set another top play. Yippee! Yeah. Oh. Yeah, I'm still not that good. I still haven't managed to get back to my peak from years ago, which was something like high 30k. But hey, Laser's a thing now, and it's great. The integrated open tablet driver, which is pretty freaking awesome, and this new UI. The map info is so much more presentable, and it's so clean now. And I love how much easier it is to filter by things like star rating. They also essentially removed note lock, so I can be terrible at streaming and still pass a bunch of maps. I also recently watched a video by Fairy on how good the average Osu player was. It's a good watch. He does some pretty interesting stuff to figure it out, but he also came up with an extension to measure something he came up with called EE, which is just like PP, get it? but it stands for Improvement Indicator. And it's something that just measures how quickly it thinks you're improving compared to the average player. But it also includes something that calculates how long it thinks you need to hit a certain amount of PP. So if we just look at MREC and we put that PP number into the calculator, we get, oh fuck. It's good to be back though. It's been a while since I've had a game that I could just open and play without worrying about dailies or events. And I've always had a soft spot for them games. Anyways, shout out to Fairy, Inclined, and QQ Jellies. They each made pretty great videos on Osu, though QQ Jellies was the one that initially inspired me to make my own video. Except I can't draw, nor am I good at storytelling, so I'm essentially just rambling throughout the entirety of this video. I stream on Twitch, so do check it out if you're interested. Now you might be wondering, what in the world were you on when you came up with that username? Whole lot of stuff. Blame my 15-year-old self. And this username was taken on Twitch, so I had defaulted to that one. But anyways, thanks so much for watching the video, and I hope to see you around.